Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
It's perfectly natural for two neighboring countries to compare themselves with each other, particularly if they happen to be adversarial to each other. Now, that applies very sharply to India and Pakistan. Over the years, it would seem that many of us in India have gotten over it. We look at China instead and try and compare ourselves with China, and then what we look at doesn't look so good. That actually became an aspirational nudge for us in India. Having said that, Pakistan is back in focus here, in a comparative focus, mainly because it is Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan who has boasted and who has claimed that his country has handled the coronavirus pandemic much better than India. In fact, when he said so in public speeches in Pakistan, he also made fun of India. He smirked and snickered, and he said, "Unhone to apna sab kuch band kar diya." They shut down their entire country. Still see, they are in such a mess. Their numbers are so much worse than Pakistan's. Whereas in Pakistan, he claims he carried out a smart lockdown, which means what you call containment zones. So he only locked down some containment zones here and there, that too occasionally. His economy did not come to a standstill, whereas India's did. And that data is now visible because all global analysis tells you that this year India's economy may decline by, the growth may decline by 9%, anything between 7 to 11%. Whereas Pakistan's would be maybe 0.5%, in any case less than 1%. So has Pakistan really done so much better a job than India's on controlling COVID? So I have to also at the outset thank The Economist magazine for sparking this thought, especially The Economist's Islamabad correspondent, who wrote this very provocative and interesting piece asking if Pakistan had actually handled COVID better than India. Now, I have one big bone to pick with him. In fact, I have a big problem, but that is over a larger, more important strategic issue. Nothing like COVID, much more important for us in this subcontinent. That I'll mention a little bit later. Let me not confuse that with coronavirus. Now, if you look at the data on coronavirus, if you just look at dumb data, that means without smartifying your data. Imran Khan says smart lockdown, we should look at smart data, and we'll come to that. If you look at just dumb data and you see how many deaths Pakistan has had, what is the positivity rate Pakistan has, what is Pakistan's rate of deaths per million, what is Pakistan's number of cases, and then you multiply by 6.5, that is Pakistan's, that is equalizing it to India's population, because India's population is about 6.5 times Pakistan's. Pakistan is about 22-23 crores now. India's, we know more reliably, is around 138 crores. So you apply the multiple of 6.5 for convenience. Now, if you look at the number of cases in Pakistan, Pakistan has 3,14,616 cases, and all this data is of the same period. By tomorrow it will change, but it will change in the same direction. So Pakistan, 3,14,616 cases. India, on the other hand, has 66,23,815 cases. If you look at this, you will think that, oh, India may be 6.5 times bigger than Pakistan, but it has more than 20 times more cases. In fact, almost 22 times more cases. So what the hell is going on? Obviously, Pakistan has done a much better job of handling COVID than India. Then you check India's deaths. The total number of deaths in India at this point is about 1,02,000. 1,02,000 is a lot of deaths in India, whereas Pakistan has 6,513. Once again, you apply the multiple of 6.5. If that was, if India had fatalities in the same proportion as, say, Pakistan, then India's fatalities would be inside of 40,000. So is it almost 2.5 times in proportion, because you apply the multiple of 6.5. Once again, on dumb data, it will look like Pakistan is doing enormously better than India. Then why just Pakistan? You look at Bangladesh. Bangladesh again is a country of sizable population, not as much as Pakistan, but still Bangladesh is 16.3 crores. Pakistan is about 22 crores. So Bangladesh is also a sizable population. And if you look at the numbers in Bangladesh, then Bangladesh has had 3,68,690 cases, a few more than Pakistan. Bangladesh has also had 5,348 deaths only. Bangladesh is about 1/8 of India's population. So apply the multiple of 8. India should have had about 40,000 cases. India has 1,02,000. So has Bangladesh also done much better with India? And with 3,86,000 cases, Bangladesh again would look like, in a straight comparison, to have done much better than India. So there is this big country, us, India. There is Bangladesh. There is Pakistan. Both are much smaller in population. One is about 15% of our population. The other is even less. But when you compare their numbers and multiply by, say, 6.5 in one case and 8 in the other to equalize the population, it will look like each one of these countries has done 3 times better than India on managing coronavirus pandemic. Now, having said that, I know that many of you are getting angry with me because you might think, this is the time when you start thinking nationalistically, patriotically, but data doesn't have any emotion. Data is data. So having whetted your appetite until now, let me go to the next level. Because as I said earlier, there is dumb data and there is smart data. So what we are looking at so far is dumb data. That dumb data tells you that both Pakistan and Bangladesh have done at least 3 times as well as India, while at the same time not causing the same damage to their economy as India did by way of a total, complete, draconian lockdown across the country so early on. Now let us try to smartify this data, and I am also being helped in this, and you will see some graphics on the screen, graphics done by Shipra Kapoor, to explain what we are talking about. Now the first smart set of data to look at is the testing record. Now Princeton scientist, researcher Ramanan Lakshmi Narayanan has been quoted in The Economist, and that gave me the cue also as saying that, look, compare Pakistan with Uttar Pradesh, about the same populations. Both are not testing. That's why both have low numbers. So if you can't test, you can't find, which I rephrase at don't test, won't find. Now, is it as simple as that? Once again, when you look at this data, which I'm calling now smart data, but we are going up the level of smartness. So first level of smart data. The first level of smart data tells you that Pakistan has tested 36,44,762 cases as yet. That makes a per million average of 16,419. That of every 1 million people, 10 लाख लोगों में से 16,419, 16,419 Pakistan has tested. Bangladesh has had 19,89,664 tests. So Bangladesh's average tests per million is even less than Pakistan's. If anything, it's about 25% less than Pakistan's. So Bangladesh's average per million for tests is 12,059 per million. Then compare that with India overall. India's total tests are 7 crores 99 lakhs 82,394. That is just shy of 8 crores. In fact, by the time you get this, India's figures will be about 8.1 crores or 8.15 crores, because India is testing, averaging now more than 1 million tests a day. That amounts to, in per million terms, 57,810 per million. Now just make a comparison. India is a much bigger country, 6.5 times bigger than Pakistan in population, 8 times bigger than Bangladesh. These are approximations. But Pakistan's per million testing rate is 1/4 about 1/4 of India's. By tomorrow, because Pakistan is testing about 30,000 a day, India is testing about 1 million a day, it will come to about 1/4 by the time you are seeing this show. Bangladesh, on the other hand, at this point is about 1/5 of India's on a per million basis. So maybe what you are saying, or what Lakshmi Narayanan is saying in this case, and what the logic is you can't, if you don't test, you will not find, which I call don't test, won't find. That looks true until we go to the next level of, now we are going up the smartness ladder. When you go to the next level, you look at two Indian states, and those are very interesting Indian states. Look at Uttar Pradesh and look at Bihar. Essentially Uttar Pradesh, but I'm also adding Bihar because these are bordering states. They both have very bad economic and social indicators. Now, Uttar Pradesh has tested 1,07,39,169 cases. Now, if you look at Uttar Pradesh in population, it's about 23 crores, a little over 23 crores. So, about the same as Pakistan. The same population as Pakistan, but it has tested 3 times as many people as Pakistan. So, on a per million basis, Uttar Pradesh has tested 47,734 per million, which is almost exactly 3 times the Pakistan number. I told you this is the second ladder in the smart data. We'll come to the third ladder also soon. Bihar at the same time has tested 77,01,839 cases. Bihar's population is a bit less than UP's, in fact much less than UP's, but still it's still sizable. It's 12.5 crores. Again, if you calculate, it comes to 64,439 per million. So for every Pakistani being tested by Imran Khan's administration, 4 Biharis. Bihar is really the poorest large state in India, or largest poor state in India. And Bihar has been the touchstone for everything that's wrong with Indian governance, social indicators, caste system, this and that, and migratory labor exporting, cheap labor exporting state. With all that, Bihar is testing 4 people compared to every Pakistani that is tested. So this is the second level of smart data. What does it tell you? It tells you that even the poorest states in India are poorest and most populous states are testing several times more than Pakistan. So maybe once again, the same logic, don't test, won't find, but because these states are testing 3 and 4 times more than Pakistan, how does this logic apply? And if that logic applies, then these states should have numbers which are 3 and 4 times higher than Pakistan's, because they are testing, they have similar social indicators, they have similar population mix, they have similar demographics. So why should they not have a lot more cases? 3 times UP and 4 times Bihar should have compared to all of Pakistan. What is the data and what does the data tell you? So I bring you to the next level. In fact, if you compare them with Bangladesh, they are testing even more per million. So their number should be enormously more than Bangladesh's, 4 times and 5 times. But what does the next level of smart data tell us? Next level of smart data is the number of positive cases that each of these has found. So Pakistan has 3,14,616 cases. India, we had mentioned to you earlier, has 66,23,815. That's almost 22 times Pakistan's, compared to the fact that India's population is only 6.5 times more than Pakistan's. By tomorrow, or by the time you are watching this, it will be precisely 22 times, I'm quite sure, because that is the pattern of the numbers. Bangladesh, on the other hand, has 3,68,690 cases. Again, you apply the multiple of 8 because India is 8 times as large. You would say, oh, India has done much worse. But then you come to UP and Bihar. UP has 4,14,466 cases. Now with so many more tests than Pakistan, with 3 times as many tests as Pakistan, UP just has about 25% more or just a little bit more positive cases than Pakistan. So how come 3 times the test give you about the same numbers as Pakistan? Then you come to Bihar. Bihar has 1,87,951 cases. Now once again, Bihar is testing 5 times as much as Bangladesh on a per million basis, and yet Bihar's numbers are about the same as Bangladesh's in population terms, because Bangladesh's population is about about 1.5 times, maybe a little less than 1.5 times that of Bihar. So how does this then does not gel on this second level of smartness of data, smart data. Your argument of don't test, won't find goes out of the window a bit, because when you test low, as in Pakistan, you find low numbers. But look at Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, countries in so many ways comparable to Pakistan. Uttar Pradesh almost exactly in population, and you find testing 3 and 4 times in this case, and again compared to Bangladesh 4 and 5 times respectively, you still have numbers which on a per million basis will be lower than Pakistan's. On an absolute basis will be about the same as Pakistan and less than Bangladesh's. So what the hell is going on here? Then you come to the next level of smart data, and then we'll arrive at some conclusions. This is your cases per million. Pakistan has found 1420 cases per million. Please compare that with their tests per million. They have 16,419 tests per million. India, on the other hand, is 4,789 cases per million, a little more than 3 times Pakistan's, but you know India is testing 4 times as much. Uttar Pradesh, on the other hand, has case per million rate of 1,842. You might say it's higher than Pakistan's. Yes, it's higher than Pakistan's by about 25%. But remember, UP is testing 3 times more than Pakistan in terms of per million population. So at 3 times the testing, the total cases found are about as many or a little bit more. So again, don't test, won't find doesn't apply. India is testing a lot more. UP and Bihar, in fact, I leave India aside, I'll just take UP. UP is testing 3 times, and numbers are not 3 times, numbers are bare, not even 1.5 times. So it is not don't test, won't find. There has to be something else to it. And similarly, when you go to Bangladesh, then per million cases, positive cases are 2,242. And you come to Bihar, our favorite state also, 1,572. Now Bihar also on a per million basis, as we saw, is testing a lot more, 4 times more than Pakistan, but its per million rate, positivity rate, is about the same as Pakistan. Then you look at deaths per million of the entire population. Pakistan is 29, India is 74. Now if you see the number of cases per million, if India is 3 times of Pakistan, then fatality rate is about 2.5 times. And I will again, because we are going up the ladders for smart data. Uttar Pradesh, on the other hand, is 26.7. Uttar Pradesh has found more cases than Pakistan, that is on a per million basis and an absolute basis, 1842 per million compared to Pakistan's 1420 per million, about the same population. UP has a fatality rate of 26.7, which is less than Pakistan's. Bangladesh has a fatality rate of 33, a bit higher than Pakistan's, but considerably higher on that scale, on a 2-digit scale, than UP, a little less than half of India's. India is, mind you, 8 times Bangladesh's population. And then if you come to Bihar, which is a big surprise, if you look at Bihar, Bihar has a fatality rate of just 7.6 per million. Now I know the obvious question from the skeptics. The obvious question will be, oh, UP, Bihar, states like that, your country, that is India, Pakistan, who keeps any account of how many people fell sick and how many died? Maybe people are just dying in silence, nobody is counting them. Now, I can answer to that with some logic. The logic is, if you say that these are large countries where registers of deaths and births are not well maintained, particularly deaths, particularly in rural parts of the country, because things are messed up, but we also have stereotypes about how bad our rural areas are. But suppose all those stereotypes are true and deaths are not being registered, and maybe a lot of people are dying of COVID and we don't know. But we are not talking what is called as infection fatality rate. So this is the next step on this ladder of smart data. Infection fatality rate is how many people got infected and how many died. Then you divide that, divide the total number infected by the number of deaths and say this is my infection fatality rate. Now, infection fatality rate is something that you estimate with serological data. And now you see sero surveys going on, and we'll talk about those later. These fatalities that our countries, India, Pakistan, or states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and countries like Bangladesh are counting, is not infection fatality rate. Because then you can say, look, you are missing 20 cases out of 25, or maybe 19 cases out of 20, right? Then how can you just tell me only this many people are dying of COVID when you are not even diagnosing maybe 95% of your COVID positive patients? It's a reasonable argument. But once again, the death figures we are talking about here, that's why I said next level of smart data, it is case fatality rate. What is case fatality rate? This is the rate of fatalities among people who've been positively identified as being COVID positive. Now, no matter how primitive our countries are and how bad our systems are, but if you check around, particularly in India, one thing you cannot accuse Government of India of is not being a control freak. So one thing they've done is every COVID test has to be entered in a database which is centrally controlled, centrally managed, but also available, accessible to far too many people for anybody to mess with it. So once somebody has been identified as COVID positive, then to hide the fact that that somebody unfortunately passed away, you might do it maybe for 1 case or 2 cases or 5 cases or maybe 0.5% cases, but you cannot do it on any scale. Even when I and my entire family went through COVID testing, when I had my dengue fever, we had to fill in a data sheet, or the pathologist filled in a data sheet giving all the details, and as the test was conducted, as the results came, this was automatically logged on this database. So once you have the database, you know how many cases you have, then you know how many of them have died, because that also goes there. So it's very difficult to fudge fatality figures out of identified cases. So once again, think case fatality rate, not infection fatality rate. And if you look at case fatality rate, then India is now 1.55% and slowly declining. To begin with, it was almost 3, but as doctors are finding out more, science is finding out more, people are finding out more, people are coming for detection earlier, people are getting help earlier. India's fatality rate has come down to 1.55 from about 3 in the very beginning. Pakistan, on the other hand, is 2%, not that much difference, but it's not as if on every parameter Pakistan's ahead. But then you look at UP and Bihar. UP and Bihar both have a case fatality rate of 1.45%. Now you can ascribe it to anything, I don't know. Some science, as we go to the topmost ladder of smart data, will figure this out, but this is the data as it's telling you. So now we come to conclusions. Now the Economist article estimates that one reason, there are some demographic reasons why Pakistan's numbers may be better than India's. So they say, for example, Pakistan's population, both India and Pakistan have young populations, but Pakistan's population is younger than India's by about 4 to 5 years, 4.5 to 5 years. Not because Pakistanis stay much younger much longer or we grow older much faster. That's because for the past many decades now, we are producing much fewer babies than Pakistan. So Pakistan's Pakistan's average age is about 4 years younger than India's. That gives Pakistan an advantage. Second, Pakistan's average life expectancy is 67, which is about 2.5 to 3 years lower than India's, which also gives Pakistan a demographic advantage. You also get advantage in not being better off. But how do you then apply to Uttar Pradesh? Uttar Pradesh has about the same population growth rate as Pakistan. In fact, almost exactly the same. Uttar Pradesh's social indicators are rotten. They are about as bad as Pakistan. In some cases, they are worse than Pakistan's. Definitely, its per capita income is much worse than Pakistan. And yet, look at Uttar Pradesh's positive cases, fatalities, the number of tests. This doesn't gel. And if that doesn't satisfy you, look at Bihar. Bihar is even poorer, even worse off than Uttar Pradesh. So one suggestion the Economist makes is that Pakistan used its polio machinery, anti-polio machinery, and also that Pakistan called in the army, etc., etc. But you look at all that, the numbers, the smart numbers do not match up. In fact, the smart number tells you that Pakistan has done much worse than India by testing much less, but also even at that level, it has not done better than Uttar Pradesh, exactly its peer in all indicators except social and economic, and even Bihar. So how does it work? Now here are a couple of guesses that I make. One, there are some parameters on which you will find similarities between Pakistan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, or where Pakistan would compare with these two states more than it might compare with Maharashtra, with West Bengal, with Tamil Nadu, with Karnataka, even Telangana and Andhra. These are states with large cities and metropolitan towns. So we know that the virus loves crowding. The virus loves proximity. So Pakistan is much more a rural country or a small town country than, say, all of India, and definitely compared to these states of India. But Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are very comparable. Today, if Uttar Pradesh's data looks worse than Bihar's, although Bihar is testing more per million, but both on fatalities and caseload, if Bihar is doing better, it could also be that Bihar is even less urbanized than Uttar Pradesh. And village life, distance between people by itself gives you a modicum of safety. So that's a possibility, but we will learn more about COVID as we go ahead. So once again, don't start celebrating. Nobody should start celebrating. In fact, I would not have come to this if I had not seen those Imran Khan speeches, boasting and preening and sniggering and just making fun of India. And if I had not seen this Economist article. Having said that, I told you I have one big difference with the Economist correspondent. That is in his first sentence, where he says or she says that India does better than Pakistan on all statistics except cricket. This is very outdated thinking and very outdated knowledge, and I can't let economists get away with it. That situation has changed dramatically, and not for a year or 6 months. That situation has changed dramatically for more than a decade now. India is way ahead of Pakistan. So, Venerable The Economist, you can say whatever you want, you will get away with it. But if you make a big mistake on a cricketing comparison between India and Pakistan like this, we will not let you get away, at least not at a moment when we seem to be doing so much better.